I got your back, Jamal. 100% on this. Is Jamahal Hill justified in being angry in that situation? Yes or no? Obviously, yes. Hello, what the fuck do you think he's going to do? Of course he's going to knock your fucking teeth out. All right, so details of Jamahal Hill's arrest have just come out, and these are actually shocking to me. Okay, it's a subjective term, shocking, but I use it a lot in my thumbnails, etc. And most of the time it's like, all right, this is a pretty dramatic story, shocking scene. This actually shocked me for multiple reasons, okay? We'll get into exactly what the story is in the police report, but I would say top to bottom, the story of Jamahal Hill's arrest is not what I expected at all. And that's why I'm shocked, is just because I had a pretty clear expectation of where I thought this was going to land, and this ain't it, dude. This ain't it. So I want to play the video from Full Mount that covered it, and then I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it, because I have some really strong thoughts about this. Really strong. Anyway, so you know what? That's just what we're going to do. Now, if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, that would be amazing. I hate asking every time, but I could do fire videos. And if I don't bring it up, they get 1/10 the subscriber growth. So I'm just reminding you guys, I work really hard. I do this for you guys. I am working hard, and I would appreciate it if you guys would subscribe to the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this, and then we're going to talk about it, all right?
New alleged details have emerged today regarding Jamahal Hill's recent arrest. In our initial video on this story, we had very little information. We just knew that Jamal was arrested after a physical altercation with his brother James, which was confirmed by TMZ. Jamal responded on his YouTube channel after the news came out. Here's what he had to say.
At this time, it is an open case. I've been advised not to speak on it, which I know not to speak on it. I just can't wait for the truth to be told in court, and I will wait for that day, and I look forward to that day.
MMAfighting.com obtained the police report. Here are the new alleged details. According to the report, Jamal and his brother James made an agreement for James and his wife to clean Jamal's house for $300, which had been left vacant and without electricity, causing food to rot and spoil. Jamal and James began arguing around 7 p.m. local time about the house being cleaned and other family matters. According to James, Jamal took off his shirt and got in his face, before allegedly punching him in the face, knocking him to the ground. James claims that he stood back up and his wife tried to stand between him and Jamal. He claims Jamal then reached around his wife and punched him in the face once again, causing him to fall and become dazed. An officer noted that James had a tooth knocked out during the alleged dispute, and James's face had significant swelling. Further details state the argument really got heated when James asked Jamal why he never texted his own daughter that was at their house for Thanksgiving. James accused Jamal of being disrespectful to women and abandoning his own daughter. James also claims the first punch thrown by Jamal was a sucker punch. James says that he debated whether or not to call the police because he quote-unquote didn't want to ruin Jamal's UFC fighting career. However, James claims that he texted Jamal asking for an apology, and Jamal didn't respond.
All right, so that is the story. Now, this is something very important to note about this story. Everything you just heard is the story from his brother, okay? This is his brother's story, not Jamal's. So when you hear it, you are hearing it, the opposing view from Jamahal Hill, okay? So if someone tells you a story and they are trying to tell you about why they're in the right in a story that happened, okay? Usually, if you hear that one person out, you're like, damn, that's really messed up. I have had to learn in my life, no matter how bad something sounds, especially when it comes to my daughters, because my daughter now is in middle school. It's dramatic. She's all, my friend did blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why didn't you fucking strangle that girl? And then, you know, we'll find out what really happened. I'm like, Jesus, Giselle, you said, you know, like, so usually I hear, if a person tells you a story and it's their side of the story and I hear it and I go, this person is 100% in the wrong here, I can't even imagine how this is going to sound when Jamahal Hill tells a story, okay? So let's just go through exactly what was said in the police report filed against Jamahal Hill, okay? So Jamahal Hill, who is traveling around, who's doing camps, who's also just been injured, so maybe he's got medical stuff going on, whatever he's traveling around, he hires his brother and his wife to take care of Jamahal Hill's house while he's gone. Dude says, okay, cool, takes his money, agrees to do that, right? Jamahal Hill goes to his house, and he has not only not done any of the things that he agreed to do, nothing, he let the power go out, and the house smells like someone died in it because he didn't do it and he let food spoil in there for months. Okay? You guys know Jamahal Hill. Imagine how mad he probably was. He paid him to do it. He assumed he did it. Gets there. His entire house is A, without electricity, and B, smells like someone died in it due to his brother not doing it. Okay? So they get into an argument, a justified reason for... so actually, let's just start right there. Is Jamahal Hill justified in being angry in that situation? Yes or no? Fucking obviously yes. Nothing pisses me off more than that. Well, not nothing. Nothing that could theoretically happen rather often pisses me off more than people telling me they're going to do something, especially if they take money for it, and then they don't do it. The level of anger is going to be dictated by what the outcome is and how much work it is for me to fix it, all right? So if it's like, hey, man, do you mind getting my mail while I'm gone? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they didn't get any of it. And I go to the mailbox and it's like stuff full of stuff. And so it's kind of a pain in the ass for me to get it out. Like, that's all it took. It's a pain in the ass for me to get it out of the mailbox. I'd call and be like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude? I thought you said you were going to get my mail. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, Jesus. You want me to think of you as a reliable person and you tell me that you're going to do something, you don't do it? Like... You know, don't think of me as a person likely to hire you for gigs. Boom, done. And that's the end of it. And then I say to Gabrielle, I'm like, what a fucking idiot. The end, you know, because all it was just they didn't do it. Not that big a deal. You go to your house, whether it's a rental or your actual house, and the power's out and it smells like death. That's a lot for you to solve. That's a fucking huge problem. It's your brother, so you already feel totally allowed to like express anger towards them when something like that happens. And so you start arguing, and instead of apologizing and just owning it, because he's completely in the fucking wrong, right? He starts barking back and yelling at Jamahal Hill to the point where he says to him, oh, you're all that? You didn't even text your daughter on Thanksgiving. Wait, what? You talking about my daughter? Yeah, you're a deadbeat father. You abandoned your kid. You abused women. You're abusive towards women and you abandoned your kid. Bro. I don't give a fuck who that person is. The easiest way to find out what kind of violence a person is capable of is to say it shit like that, dude. Tell them they're a deadbeat father. Challenge whether or not they love their kid enough to do X, Y, Z. You don't even love your fucking daughter. Say what, dude? Like, hello, what the fuck do you think he's going to do? Of course he's going to knock your fucking teeth out. Jesus, man. I mean, I cannot stress this enough, dude. In real, you know, the thing with Colby and Masvidal, I never even really was able to evaluate that correctly because I was all tied up in whether or not they were still friends in real life. You know, like, so that I had no objective view of that situation. But, you know, in that situation, you're talking like weeks later. A dude who's your relative is standing right in front of you and goes, you're a deadbeat father. You don't even love your daughters, man. You're so caught up in your own shit, you don't even love your daughters. I'd be like, is that right? You know, and so again, like I said, you know, oh, I can't imagine putting it on my brother, whatever. If my brother said that to me, I would fucking break his face. He would never say that to me, obviously. But like that, I mean, this is just fucking ridiculous. Of course he's going to punch you, dude. And you abuse women? What the fuck are you talking? Why? Because Ariel said that? And then after that, where he was completely in the wrong, it escalated where it escalated. He calls Jamahal Hill a deadbeat father. He gets punched. He says, I didn't want to ruin his UFC career, but there better be a big fucking big but behind that, dude. You're going to, not only are you in the wrong, you fucked up, you deadbeat fuck. Like, you didn't do what, I'm sorry. I'm not talking shit about Jamahal Hill's brother. It's his brother. But in this situation, you are in the wrong 100% and you baited him into punching you because you said something to him where anyone's going to punch you, much less fucking Jamahal Hill. And then you acknowledged that you could fuck with his UFC career and you decided that you were actually going to do that. Because why? Because you texted him and he didn't fucking respond? That, like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What the fuck? Like, well, I wasn't going to do it, but then I texted him and he didn't respond. So you so you fucking got him arrested? You filed a charge on him? What if he didn't have his phone on him? What if he was just letting everything calm down for the night? Anyway, so like I said, I found that rather shocking because I had assumed that we were going to be talking about, like, because again, I said I know nothing about his brother. So I was assuming we were going to be dealing with some kind of like straight up deadbeat, like drug addict or something. Because it's weird. It's weird for two brothers to fight like that, especially like, you know, like a big fucking pro fighter to beat the shit out of their brother. I thought we were going to be talking about like, you know, some really like fucked up weird behavior. This is just like a disagreement between two brothers that escalated because the person who was in the wrong called him a fucking deadbeat father. Of course he's going to fucking punch you. And then you dimed him to the cops? You dimed him to the fucking cops, dude? Jesus. That is... Again, I'm like double tracking this. I'm like, all right, like I want to be respectful of Jamahal Hill. So like because I 100% mean exactly what I'm saying. I don't want to talk too much shit about his brother because it's his fucking brother. But like, Jesus, man, why the fuck would you dime him to the cops over this? You know you fucking earned him punching you. Seriously? And even if you didn't, it's your brother. He punched you in the heat of the moment. You calculated, filed a police report, and got a charge put on him when he's the UFC light heavyweight champion. What the fuck, man? Anyway, that's what I got. That is a crazy fucking story. I got your back, Jamal. 100% on this.